Do you hate how the list rows present in a table action requires you to specify a table in your Excel file? I want to trigger this Power Automate flow so that it adds items to a SharePoint list each time a new file is added to this folder. In this Microsoft Power Automate tutorial, I'll show you how to dynamically set the file and table field. In Power Automate, create an automated cloud flow. We'll use the When a file is created properties only trigger. Select your site address and library name. Add a compose action. We'll use this compose action to store the file path, which we can use in the next couple actions that we'll add to this flow. Insert the folder path and file name with extension dynamic content. Add a get tables action. We'll use this action to return the tables in the workbook. Select your location and document library. In the file field, insert the outputs from the compose action above. Next, add a list rows present in a table action. Select the location and document library. In the file field, insert the outputs from the file path compose action. For the table, select enter custom value. Insert the name dynamic content from the get tables action. Since the get tables action returns an array of values, by selecting the name dynamic content, the list rows present in a table action has been nested inside and applied to each action. This is not what we want. Since there will only ever be a single table in my workbook, the apply to each action isn't necessary. To avoid the apply to each action, we need to specify the first table name that is returned. Click on the three dots and click on Peek Code. Locate the table line. We'll need to use this text here in an expression. Delete the name dynamic content and pull this action outside of the apply to each loop. I'll delete the apply to each action since we won't need it. For the table field, add an expression. Insert square brackets and a 0. The first position of an array is 0, then 1, 2, 3, and so on. Since my workbook only has a single table, it will always be the first table, which is why I'm using a 0. However, if your table is in a different position, use the appropriate number for your table. Press the down arrow key to go to the end of the expression and add another set of square brackets and single quotes. Enter name in lowercase. Place your cursor at the start of the expression by pressing the up arrow key. Insert the value from the get tables action. Press OK. I'll adjust the top count to 3 to reduce the amount of data being processed while I'm building out this flow. Save the flow and let's give it a test. I'll drag and drop a file into my document library. Here in the outputs, you can see the table is being returned. Next, I'll add an apply to each action to loop through each row in the Excel table. Add a create item action. Select your site, address, and list name. Because we are using a dynamic table in the list rows present in a table action, the dynamic content for that action isn't available to select from. You can return the content in two ways. The first way is by using an expression. We'll use the item function. Add a question mark, square brackets, and single quotes. Insert the text in red from the outputs of the list rows present in a table action. The title column of my SharePoint list stores the asset ID, so I'll enter that here. The text in red are the headers of your table. Make sure the text in the single quotes match the text in red. You can repeat this for each field. The second way you can return content is by using the Parse JSON action. Insert a Parse JSON action below the list rows present in a table action. In the content field, insert the value dynamic content from the list rows present in a table action. In the previous flow run, I'll copy the outputs from the list rows present in a table action to my clipboard. Click Generate from Sample and paste the content from your clipboard. In the apply to each action, I'll replace the values dynamic content with the body output of the Parse JSON action. Now I can use the dynamic content from the Parse JSON action in the create item action. Let's save the flow and give it a test. My SharePoint items have been created. I'll remove the top count and turn on the concurrency control in the apply to each action. If you found this video helpful and plan to dynamically select a table and list rows present in a table action, please consider giving this video a like. Did you know that you can use Power Automate to format your Excel data into a table with the Run Script action? Check out this video to find out how. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any other Power Automate flow building tips and tricks. Thanks for watching.